Well, my editing skills are crap, but can the same thing be said about C, the Apple TV Plus series premiere? Stick around and find out. I'm not going to wave around the signs and sing a song today. I'm still recovering from my 24-hour Extra Life marathon, as may be evidenced by my deeper voice. Anyway, no waving songs and sign. I'm just going to get into it. Hi, I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. This is my uncut review of C, the Apple TV Plus series premiere. The synopsis on IMDb reads, "Far in a dystopian future, the human race has lost the sense of sight, and society has had to find new ways to interact, build, hunt, and to survive. All of that is challenged when a set of twins is born with sight." So what is this animal? What's the basic pacing, tone, what vibe is this given off? It largely feels like a fantasy drama, actually. It's a primitive tribal setting in a post-apocalypse. I don't know if nukes actually went off, but basically everybody got this disease, and almost all but 2 million members of the human race perished. Those who survived developed this genetically passed down trait of blindness. And so the world and the setting and the stars really are the focus compared to the plot, and especially the characters. Baba Voss is a character that's played by Jason Momoa, and he's a respected tribesman. He might even be the leader. I wasn't quite clear on that. He certainly leads them into combat. And he took an outsider woman as his wife. I'm not sure if they're actually married or not, but as his, his partner or whatever. She was pregnant, evidently, and in the pilot, she gives birth to twins, a boy and a girl, who are able to see. And she became pregnant by a stranger just before she was taken in by Jason Momoa's character. And the village is now hunted by another tribe who believes that this woman is a witch, and so the whole village must die. There is one combat sequence, but the rest of the tension really is built on the villagers fleeing to a new home. It actually kind of felt slow to me and lacking any character motives that really interested me. The premise, admittedly, doesn't hook me very well. When I come to geek fiction, I like elements of power fantasy in science fiction or fantasy. I like people to have gadgets or magic or abilities or something that are unusual to the world that I live in. Well, but this world is all about everyone having less sensory powers than I have, except for hearing, which in some cases with some characters seems to be enhanced. There are a few characters with nearly, I would describe it as superhuman hearing, and others who may or may not have the power to see the future or other mystical perceptions, but these weren't really explained or explored or played up enough to feel like true empowerment to me. So yeah, the kind of thing that I come to a lot of sci-fi and fantasy for just wasn't here. Some of the villagers, some of the people were able to do things without sight that seemed a little far-fetched. Just in their day-to-day lives. So I think some more establishment of their limits as far as like how well they can really hear, might have been nice. In the end, though, I just really didn't care about the characters, which is something that I really depend on in any fiction that I take in. Any fiction, not entertainment, because video games, I don't really care about the characters. I just want to, play in the world. But talking about the cast a little bit, I felt like all the performances were solid for what I wanted them to be. They just didn't have, interesting character material to work with. One scene involving a queen carrying out some sort of religious masturbation felt oddly played almost for laughs. Disgusting concept aside, it felt like it was just there to be daring and outrageous, and part of that is, probably the chief part of that is because of the writing. It was the writing, not the actor, that put that scene there. But there was some performance elements that made the scene like just even less fitting and seeming, less purposeful. But other than that, I thought the performances were fine. And even with that actress, she, was doing fine in the other scenes. Just kind of like an odd moment there. Anyway, the sets and the costumes all felt pretty appropriate to the setting and well put together. So I appreciated the production value in that sense. Combat wasn't spectacular. I don't anticipate it's going to be because, it doesn't involve the usual dodging and weaving that you would have when fighting characters can see each other, which we take for granted and that allows for those kinds of crazy dodging and weaving and stuff like that. Although some combat choreography, I should say, still felt like more than should be possible between blind characters, and that kind of comes back to my, my issues with the script. So no matter how long they've learned to live without sight, if you watch the pilot, maybe you'll agree, maybe you'll disagree. But there were a few moments I was just like, I don't know. As far as like themes, is there anything of any worthwhile themes in this that might stimulate worthwhile thought or conversation? There were no strong themes that I picked up on. Although they might be, this is a bit of speculation on my part, they might be setting the stage for a metaphor, an ongoing metaphor about knowledge, which would be symbolized by sight, I'm thinking. Knowledge being good and religion being associated with evil and ignorance. The seemingly most religious monotheistic person in this story is, once again, the most evil character in the story. How many times have we seen that? Whose beliefs also seem to contain vestigial elements of Christianity, such as a warped version of the Lord's Prayer, which was the prayer during the, the weird masturbation scene. And this evil queen, who is the super religious lady, also views the ability to see as evil. So we could be cooking up a message here or a metaphor of like Christianity says knowledge is evil or something like that. The framework is there, but who knows how much they will develop and play with those tired out and, for me, honestly, obsolete themes. I know that some people have associated an antagonism against knowledge and learning with Christianity. I think that's probably goes back to the issues that were especially raging, years back about prayer in schools or creationism being taught in schools and stuff like that. So I think that there's circulating in the hive mind of popular culture, maybe some association of ignorance with some form of Christianity. But given that this version of Christianity, if it can even be called that at all, is corrupt to the point of being unrecognizable in this story, you could argue that the actual statement being made, whether it's intended by the writer or not, is when Christianity becomes corrupt, it believes pursuing knowledge is evil. And I would actually agree with that statement, that corrupt Christianity, when we've seen people identifying themselves or movements identifying themselves as Christian, but there is like an antagonism toward learning and pursuing truth and pursuing knowledge, chances are very good that there is some corruption going on in terms of their beliefs when compared to actual biblical Christianity. Like the plot and characters, I feel like any potential themes in this are really going to take a long time to surface because of how much time in this pilot they feel they need to spend on showing us how different the world is when everyone is blind. It definitely seems like that is the thing they're showcasing. But for shows that require a paid subscription to view, I require a much stronger pilot to hook me in. Whatever they plan to take this series thematically or otherwise, I'm not going to be along for that ride as it stands now. So I have no idea what your tastes are in television, but if I were a time traveler, I'd go back in time and say, Peter, oh my gosh, just sleep some more. Just sleep some more. Skip this one. If Apple TV Plus fails and this show gets picked up by another streaming service or something like that, so that you don't have to pay extra to see it, maybe put this pilot on and then put a second episode on just like while you're playing a video game or something to see if it even starts going somewhere interesting to you in terms of story and characters, but it's just not worth it for you right now, especially since for whatever reason the Apple website just seemed broken to me today. It was freezing up and it froze up and glitched twice while I was trying to set up my trial membership, and then it froze 4 to 6 times while trying to watch the pilot so that I had to reload the whole page. I wasn't having issues like this on other websites, today. So this was something going on with Apple. Not a fan. Anyway, there's no MPAA rating for this. I would describe it as PG-13-ish for violence, sexually explicit content, and brief, very partial nudity. All right, those are my thoughts. I'd love to get yours in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, click that bell if you want to stay connected. I want to thank the Spirit Blade Insiders for making all of my content possible. You can get info about the benefits of joining at patreon.com/spiritbladeproductions. Then I hope you'll join us soon over at christiangeekcentral.com as we continue to geek out and seek the truth. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We've got a ton going on here at Spirit Blade Productions and Christian Geek Central, including our in-depth Bible study for geeks, movie, game, and other entertainment reviews or commentary, live streams, Christian geek news, original audio dramas, and tons more. And on top of all that, you can become a Spirit Blade insider with an influential voice and get access to exclusive content and rewards. It's your involvement as a patron that will keep all of this going and growing. So I want to thank you for your consideration in that. For more information, please check out our Patreon page through the link below at patreon.com/spiritbladeproductions. Thanks for listening.